Let me put on chat. And
will I see the chat, by the way?
You should see it in the right side.
On my right, yeah.
I also have it on another monitor. Hey, Mike Mac. All right, so it looks like, can you hear us? Are we good?
Okay. Yeah.
Hang on, let me pull up this other monitor so I can see what else is going on. So good morning or good evening, wherever you are, to everyone. I need to mute this other thing. I've got Crypto Bobcat here. Super excited about this conversation.
Hello, everybody. We're at 17 cents. What a great news for the HEX. Yeah, it's going to be fine. You see the attitude from the beginning. I'm not stressed out at all. Crypto Heartbeat. Yo, Matt is here, by the way. Hello.
Hey, Matt. Hexkin Greenhorn, Romanian Dan. Good to see you. Thanks for. I'm going to shout out the early folks. This guy, Zachary Otero, Optimus Kevtron, Fatal Fury. You get 10 points for being first. Hexkin Greenhorn, thanks for being here. Hey, listen, I was just talking to Crypto Bobcat right before we came on. It's easy to stream and create content when Hex is pumping. Super easy. We're all geniuses. This is great. You don't literally have to say anything. You can just talk about how great the world is. But I wanted to give a shout out to all those that are continuing to create content. And not only just, streaming, but all content, memes, everything else, while Hex is just doing what it does. And Crypto Bobcat, dude, I'm so happy to have you here. And I wish we would have hit live earlier, because some of the things that you said earlier, I don't want to make you repeat yourself, but maybe I'll try to tease you.
It's fine. We can speak about it all day long. It's fine.
Okay, perfect. Mango Junkie, good to see you. Flex Mucky.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for being here. But you've been in the space for a while. You do TA and you do daily TA, and I'm super appreciative of that. I've always liked your channel because it's short. You're doing these short TA things. And I want to ask you in a second, just for everyone that's on, I'll ask you that question in a second. But one of the benefits, I would say, of doing TA is that you see patterns, you see behaviors. I don't know TA. I can draw a trend line and then be like, oh, I broke the trend line for whatever.
It's fine. You're 50% ahead of other people. By drawing a simple trend line or just putting some moving average, you're way above them, above the people who never had any sort of, way to go with this. But yeah, it's fine. The question, please.
I'm a professional top buyer anyway, so that's just kind of my thing. I take pride in that. Buying the tops. In fact, someone joked and they're like, dude, I saw your video on buying the tops. Whatever you're doing, stop buying, because they want the price to go back up. So
yeah,
I'm good for that.
Yeah, it's fine. It happens with all people. It happens all the time. It depends on how you will play out, in the next month or just years. And it depends on how you consider Hex at all. There are three types of, let's just say people at all. I would say there are two types when we don't take Hex into account. But I would say with Hex, we have three types of people: investors, stakers, and speculators, right? Investors, what they do, they invest into, let's just say Hex as an example. They invest into Hex and they have liquid coins, and they don't do anything pretty much with them. Just hold it, right? Stakers bought and staked, but with Ethereum fees, that's a perfect scenario when you get to, stake on stake. Vitalik loves you very much, and Ethereum loves you very much as well. With this $100, $200, fee, I saw very crazy fees, by the way, like thousands of dollars. And probably you can explain it to me, because I never staked coins on Ethereum because I'm waiting for PHEX to do so. I just consider this as a robbery, paying such fees for just to stake it on stake, but it's not Hex fully. I would say it's all about Ethereum. As far as I got it, the longer you stake, and when it comes to its end, and when you need to unstake that, you pay the higher fee to unstake it, right? So why does it happen? I mean, I have no perfect information about the Hex. There are some black spots, so you probably may cover it if you know about it.
Yeah, you're saying why is it more expensive to end stake?
To end stake, yeah. The longer
it's
it
just because
stake, the more fee you pay in the end.
yeah,
right?
it's because it's doing it, it's because on the end, it's just doing more computations to generate basically your interest and calculate, all of that. So that's why you're seeing, like reports, people showing screenshots of crazy numbers to end stake. And I haven't done it yet. Have you gone to the fees WTF to see how much you paid in ETH fees? It's guaranteed to just make you rage.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I did my best just to make all of these transactions under $50 with all of these fees, and thanks God we have 1inch to help us out with this. But when you get glued to Uniswap, it don't spread your order book through the whole Uniswap version 2, version 3, and other order books. It might take like $100 and over $100, and specifically to unstake an element. I saw the biggest I saw was like $8,000 to end stake.
Wow.
I mean, sorry, what?
Yeah.
Ethereum, what are you doing with all of this game theory? By the way, if we have people's questions, guys, before we just get into TA, I'm sorry, just took over it a little bit, but I think you're fine with this. Yeah, it's my show for now. It's fine. No, I mean, I'm just kidding. If you have some good questions, and let's not miss any, we can just answer people's question and not get too much into TA, because there are tons of TAs, trend lines, trend indicators, different RCIs, stochastic, and you kind of need just to wrap your head around it. It will take time. If you just ask me a simple question, where did I learn it? I would tell you that I just catch up from other people. I caught it up from other people, and just did my own research, play with an indicator, played with settings, played with formations, and let's just say did my homework and kind of found my own parents to work the market, right? So that's pretty simple. And when I do my daily videos, I decided not to mix too many indicators. If you get to a video, there are three styles or three sets of indicators, which I always use: Alligator and MACD. This is the first one. Ribbon MA Cloud. This is the second one. And third one was a Bollinger Band. And I just recently started using DMI, Directional Moving Index, as well.
Do you have a favorite? That's what I'm wondering, because I know you do a pretty good job of covering each of those, like in your videos, in a short amount of time. But if you had to pick one, what would you say is the best one?
I like MACD the best, but I usually read it in a very different way. When you get to technical documentation of MACD, so first of all, the stock indication was like 12, 26, 9. These are three numbers. There is let me share it to you. So what am I doing? Yeah, it's super hard to break it down like this way. Do you see my screen?
Yeah, let me pull it up here.
It's fine. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's fine. So we choose MACD, and I did it in the wrong way. We need indicators as well. So this, we need just to remove DMI. This is a stoke meaning. There is a fast length, slow length, and signal smoothing. I'm going to explain to you just in a minute. The stoke meaning is 12, 26, and 9, and this is what everyone using, right? But history shows that the more candles and the more, I would say, performance you put into the gear, the less fake outs you have. Because when you leave it this way, you won't read pretty much here, right? Because the volatility is pretty quick. The signal in the main line here, they're pretty quick. They're changing pretty fast, and you kind of need to slow down the whole system to make I would say a buy or sell. Because when you follow, for example, this way, like even on a 1 hour chart, or let's just switch to 4 hour chart, you can say, oh, this one, let's just say on 17th of September, I like to trade. I'm going to explain that, in a minute. You can, follow it like in the long and the short, and you can change or swap this decision, every minute. So what I'm doing, I'm just putting as much information as possible. So I change 12 to 500, slow length to 1,000, and do my best to smooth the signal as maximum as possible. So in this case, I just only get 50. So you don't see such volatility within indicators. So you pretty much see that we have less signals, but they're way stronger than with the 12, 26, and 9.
So Bobcat, with what you have on the screen right now, with the
it's
the
a moving
mountains,
average convergence divergence goal.
Okay,
indicator.
So if you're looking at this, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. No, I mean,
it's staking aside. We know what HEX is programmed to do. That's the thing. We know what it's programmed to do. We're here creating content for people that are, and I'm not necessarily a technical person in that way. So I told you, I'm just going to ask you questions about TA, like we're having coffee or a beer or whatever. And if that's okay with everyone, hey, Shalom Defoe, Sean
sure,
Reese, Mango Junkie. But that's kind of what I'd rather do. And if everyone agrees that I can be the dumb guy asking the TA guy questions, then I'll keep asking questions. So
it's fine. No, it's okay. I'm going to explain it to you. Okay. So when you get to a textbook or just description of the indicator, it tells you like there are two lines. The blue one is the signal line. It calls a signal line. The orange one, which you see for now, it's the main one. I would say the signal here is when this signal line, which is a blue one, crosses the main one, which is orange one. We fix that in the mind. Crosses to the top, from the bottom to the top. It means that the trend actually changed, right? And now we're just bullish. I don't know. Can't show. Like this one. You see that the signal line was beneath and went to the top side. And it means that the bear trend, kind of bear trend, is broken. And for now, we just went into a bullish trend. So the same story happens when the signal line crossing the main one to the downside, which happened here, as you can see in the chart, on 14th of October, I would say. Yeah, pretty much there, I would say, at 39 cents. It's in a textbook. It says like bear trend is coming. But I never traded this and never used that. But instead of using those two signals, I used to say bearish or just bullish convergences, but I found out that this is the wrong way to call that. This is my own experience. You will never find it anywhere. But there's another way. So I would say, so you see this situation, right? When signal line gets closer to the main one, and it's kind of about to cross it to the downside. You see, like it approaches pretty close to the main one. You see this both lines here.
Yeah, super close.
Yeah, but instead of crossing that to the downside, it starts deviating to the top. I call it, let's call it in the right way. It's a bullish continuation signal on the MACD. So what happens in the chart, on the chat in this time? So we kind of need to flip the whole chart to the bear trend. But instead of doing that, signal line found a bullish kick and price started curving to the top side. And what we have in the chart, it was in the August, as far as I remember. Price started curving to the top. And it means that will be a bullish continuation, right? So it works the same way in the bear trend. You can, judge it by looking at histograms as well, which is here. Signal line getting closer to the main one, but instead of just crossing it to the top side and kind of kick us higher and basically getting us back to 40, 45 cents, it deviates from this main one to the downside. It means that the bear trend will be continued at this point. So, I like it very much. And when we get to a 1 hour chart with this, so you see that, right? Signal line just bouncing to all the way down. It never crossed it. You see 1 hour chart. Right? Signal line going all the time. It bounces to the downside. It still keep doing that. Which means
that's the sound it makes in my head too when I'm looking at it.
Yeah, the same story here. You see, the same stories here. You see that the signal line is getting closer. 26th of August, but instead of crossing to the downside, we just went pretty parabolic. And I would say it's a signal which give you like a telltale sign what might happen with HEX. by that moment in time, 26th of August. So where HEX was, like here, right? And we start kicking higher, and went to, as far as I remember, 52. So what we are doing for now, we just keep doing this bearish continuations, as you can see, until the signal line will be going lower. It's a pretty simple indicator, just to explain. You probably wouldn't need any other indicators just to analyze the market. But until we have this, I would say I also need just to break down. I'm gonna tell you, I told you that it's gonna be very, very boring, but yeah, bear with me with this.
No, it's okay. And what I want to do is there's a question on the screen that I'd
Yeah.
like for you to address, and I want to just say, Bobcat, the reason I wanted to talk to you is because I know that you just give the truth, even though it might be unpopular when
Yeah.
people show. I see more heat coming your way when you're talking about bearish stuff.
Yeah.
But can you see this? Can you see this comment on there and respond to that person?
To whom exactly? I'm sorry, I just lost the thread.
Oh, it's okay. On the screen right now, from what you're showing, it looks like there's still room to go down. 8 cents.
I'm sorry. I just stop sharing because it duplicate the whole stream. Yeah. So what would you like me to show you?
Well, there's just a comment on them saying 8 cents. They're saying from what you're showing, it looks like there's still room to go down 8 cents to 12 cents. My target, if any whale, be tempted to rebuy such a huge amount of coins. It's not.
It's hard to say for now.
Okay.
Well, from MACD perspective, from clear MACD perspective, I wouldn't say so. But you see this formation, which we have. It's looks like a very, angled triangle, which pointed to the downside. You see it?
Yeah, I just
put it. It's called the falling wedge. And as far as I remember, it plays 85% to the top side. It means that swings are getting less and less. Like volatility is getting lower and lower, and at some point in time, it actually basically breaks it to the top side. So it's also known as. Give me a sec. I'm gonna remove this. Oh, wrong number, wrong keyboard. Bump and run. So what usually happens? Price just going down, that breaks it, retest, and they just fly to the top. It happened. Let's pull a Bitcoin on the daily. We're gonna, come on. I don't need this.
Mango Junkie, I agree with you. TA is TA. Nothing we can do about it. It doesn't change the fact that that over the past 2 months, people have gotten frustrated, and some are deciding to take it out on individuals, whether it's people that have been in for a while or taking it out on Bobcat or Jenkins.
No, it's fine. I don't have any trolls.
You have thick skin. You don't care. You're just like, hey, this is what it is.
If people want to just troll me, sorry, and it's just to stop sharing. I mean, I'll be more keen just to speak on people's questions and other different stuff. So MACD, I'm gonna send it to you. I would say I can actually break it down pretty quick. I would say Alligator and MACD shows me major support in resistance areas. And depends on the market fractals it plays it. Sometimes when price is above these lines, there is a very simple rule, I would say. Everything that goes up pretty high returns back to major supports. And I told it probably when HEX was like 25, 30, and was going to 50 cents. Which happened, I would say. People wanted just to have HEX. So there's a very simple, another wisdom, I would say. People like sharing wisdom, so I'm gonna share.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Yeah, tops and the bottoms. Where usually tops happen, in the places where a major amount of people, the biggest amount of people, want to buy the asset because it was going up drastically and continuously. This is the reason why Dogecoin went to 75 cents. This is why I know that people hate listening Shiba's Dogecoin, but it's the same reason. Right? If you get, to the bottom of the technology of Dogecoin, what was it about? It's about nothing, right? So when there are two big enemies which you might have in the market: euphoria and fear. Euphoria, it's where you actually experience HEX, for example, going from 10 to 50 or just from 1 to 50 cents. And you believe it never stops going this way, right? And you listen to people that say end of the year $10. So By the way, it's the same FUD, but it's a positive FUD, right? Nobody questions this because it goes up. Nobody cares that. I mean, everybody cares that it might go to $10, $100, but I was always against of such predictions because it sets you psychologically to some number like $10, $100, and everybody's like,
yeah, it's setting the stage. It's setting the stage for FUD later. So it's more like euphoria, uncertainty, and maybe not doubt. But
yeah, the problem with HEX for now. If you look, I mean, I like everybody. I like Whales Only. I like Jenkins. They're good guys. Their analysis are good, and Whales Only charts, they're great. But it's wrong to set people up this way. If you tell, like, there was the model, I don't know how it's called, and some people told me like Whales Only said 92 cents by the middle of November, and today's 8th of November. We have like week left to hit 92 cents. All of this analysis which we had didn't count only one thing which played a very significant role. It's called selling critical mass. The more people gets richer, the more selling pressure we will have. And by that moment in time when demand was really greater than the supply, people were buying HEX like crazy. It's not even the people, but speculators. And everybody hates them when the market goes down, but everybody loves them when market goes up. And without speculators, you can do pretty much. HEX will never go to $10 in the future without speculators. It's not investors. It's not stakers who move it. Investors, they just hold and they can take profit from time to time or just do nothing with this. Stakers, they're delayed. They're the same selling pressure, but their selling pressure is delayed for sometimes, because let's be honest, we are here for money anyway, right? More or less. Let's be honest, at least to ourselves, right? And all of these mathematical models which we had before, they're good, that they showed some perspective and it's fine. And now we have a correction to show everybody what is it about.
100%. Yeah. So I like what you're saying, because everyone says HEX is a staker's coin. It's not for swing trading, and yet swing trading is economic energy into the system that helps keep things moving forward, and that makes perfect sense. I mean, I'm glad that we're able to do this. And I've seen other people mention, and it's not accusatory, but it's saying if you're freaking out right now, it's either because you have liquid and you're trying to figure out when's a good exit point, or you basically you're either speculating, or you are, maybe you have some stake, but you have some liquid and you're going to do something else with it. And I'm not bragging here, but one of the things that I did about a month and a half ago was I had some liquid because I looked at different people saying, oh, keep 1%, keep 5%. And I just realized, knowing myself, that the best thing that I could do for myself was to stake beyond what I thought the fork when that would happen. Yeah, and man, this has been easy. Yeah, I've had to answer questions from people that are asking, well, hey, what's going on, with the price or whatever. But I can't do anything. It's amazing. It's amazing that I literally can't do anything. I just can sit and wait and get excited and learn more about crypto in general. Yeah, because it's easy when HEX price is going up to talk about to think about HEX and talk about and all this different stuff. But I've used the past 2 months to educate myself more on what's going on in the industry, and that's actually made me more bullish and more excited even about PulseChain.
Yeah, But by the way, I thought that the staking element would hold more people back from selling. But I would say I didn't remember there was a day when we dipped for the first time to 19 cents. There was a guy screenshotting the EES page, and there was 20 pages of emergency and stakes. That's crazy. I mean, BTC, let's just say BTC and HEX, they have the same money flow in the redistribution model. So I would say roughly 85 or 90% are dormant, belong to interested parties, never been moved anywhere. 9% with something, 9.5% are staked, and we have like 1-2%, liquid HEX which we can operate with, and this is very efficient. This is why we did 10,000x, 1,000,000%. But yeah, but by some moment of time, I would say, about PLS. What do you think about price of PLS? I have a very, good, interesting position about it. I think it will dump 90% in the first 2 weeks, and I will explain why.
I can't wait to hear that, because other people, I won't name names, but other people that I know, that other people know that have been in the space, watched like dozens or been a part of dozens of launch teams, have basically said the same thing. Not because it's PulseChain, not because this is FUD, but they're like, this is just what happens. The same, and to your point, there's more people. If there are speculators in HEX that are driving up the price, that are building the buzz when they hold the bag, those are the same people that either talk crap about it or don't say anything once it's gone down or they've exited their positions. There's more of that energy in PulseChain. There's more of that. There's more people talking about it in terms of the Telegram groups bigger. So one of the things that I've known about, you probably have seen multiple times, that's a good learning point, is like, not everybody that's involved in HEX is a Hexkin. They're not all, if you see those VCs, those Silicon Valley VCs that are basically laughing about dumping on the heads of retail and Solana, like, they're not our friends. VCs are not our friends. And that's what they're here to do. And that's what we're all here to do. There are going to be, in my opinion, I want to hear your specifics on this, there are more speculators, more pre-sale folks that sacrifice for Pulse, that just can't wait for the 2x, the 3x, the 5x, the 10x to dump. But I want to hear your more specific take on it.
The fastest is pretty simple. Okay, there's the question: what's going to happen when one guy knows that he can, there's some asset which can make 10,000x? So what's going to happen? He will get this 10,000x. What's going to happen when 100 people know about it? It's going to be hard, but probably price will get there. Now the question, what's going to happen when 35,000 people know about it? Will the price go 10,000x or just start pumping right away? The problem, I saw it many times. It's called pump groups. And it happened with, for example, with XRP all the time. People were set by that moment in time, but that day, but that hour, XRP will go up. And what happened by that moment in time? It was dropped down. It was dumped on people's head. So I wouldn't say that the same story will happen, but even if we take Ethereum as an example, pre-sale price, I don't remember what the price was, like 30 cents. The starting price was $3. So within a week or two, it was, declining to the same starting price. Let's just say 30 cents or 20 cents. And on the same page, if you can answer me the question, why people should buy PLS for now, just right away. Because we have tons of people who have already sacrificed and they have tons of PLS. And you kind of need just to feel their backs, or because not 100% would like just to save PLS or use it as or being a validator in this case, or you just use it in any other way, or use it like as a transaction fee or just any other, way. There will be people who will be selling PLS, and probably they sacrificed to diversify their bags by that moment of time. When we were at pre-sacrifice phase, 10 cents, when we broke all-time high for the first time. No, I mean, that's my position. I saw it many times. We had the same story with Ethereum. It's not even bad. It's not bad. It's the same. It's always about, so every crypto has its cycle. In every cycle, there is a repositioning all the time. Money comes from one hands to other hands to other hands to other hands all the time. Without speculators, you can Bitcoin would never go to 65, or what was the top, 67,000 without speculators.
Yeah,
never.
Well, and it's funny too, because every time that someone makes a public, takes a public position or makes a claim about something, then and it's said with either, I'm great or I have regret. They can be corrected. And in fact, there were people that just 2 months ago were started complaining that Pulse wasn't around yet, and they sacrificed, and it had their HEX. Had they just held their HEX, it would be worth so much more. It's like, well, guess what, buddy? Now it's back to the price.
Now it's fine. You just get back to your starting point. Yeah, it's fine. You didn't miss anything. Yeah,
No.
right. But by the way, let's talk about theories and probably. So, for example, I think that Richard Hart doesn't go live intentionally. He knew this stuff. He knew that it's gonna happen. He knew that he wanted to not give any preferences to speculators. He doesn't want to share PHEX to speculators because what they're gonna do at the beginning, they're gonna creating a selling pressure because you kind of double your back. So by the way, there's a guy saying GS Jacob from my channel, no volume as well, no interest at all. This is where the bottom is usually made. You want it to be like this because there's no interest. So let me tell you how it does work. The whole crypto market, from my point. Everything has been bubbled. Like, let's just say how it happened with Bitcoin in 2017. I do remember this time because I got into crypto in 2017 in the middle of this when Bitcoin was a couple $1,000. Not that much time, like how many years? 4 years or something. Everybody was saying Bitcoin would go to $100,000. It would never be. So the same story like with HEX, but at 20,000, right? Everybody was very aroused by BTC price performance, right? And then it actually dipped pretty much to 6,000. And the whole 2018 was about the whole median price. They told about 6,000 mark, and they say you will never see Bitcoin going below 6,000 because mining would be unprofitable. Blockchain will stuck, and there'll be like mempool will be uploaded to shed, and the transaction wouldn't go at all. And November 2018, Bitcoin finally broke 6,000 to the downside, and our favorite Townways, by the way, everybody likes him, everybody knows him. He was like this: Bitcoin will go to 1,800, and it never get here.
True. Well, I'm going to show something, and then we got a special guest in the green room. Bring on. Good morning.
Oh, sure.
Human HEX trafficker, Mango Junkie. I see Mango Junkie Swiss. Hang on one second. I have this pulled up to show anyway because I see some comments. Let me find.
Yeah.
I think I already showed it.
Yeah.
It was talking about. I think it's good now. Actually, I'm going to pull this comment up before I show this other thing because it's.
Yeah, you mean gas in the green room is Matt? Is Matt?
No. Don't say who it is. It's a surprise.
I don't know. I didn't see him.
Oh, you don't see him? Oh, okay.
I didn't see him.
Let me show my screen.
I should see it in the rest stream probably.
Yeah. All right.
You're probably sharing to everybody for now.
Yeah. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Everybody's seeing this. It's fun.
Okay. So can you see this?
You show it to everybody for now. You show it to everybody for now.
Okay. So here's the tweet. Honestly, you feel better that the price is corrected pre-fork rather than post-fork. We have jettisoned a large amount of negative price pressure, and there's a lot of people that are agreeing with this, and I totally agree with it. Let me just take a second, and I would like to bring the man.
Mysterious guest. Nobody knows who it is. And here we go.
We got Brandon from Rags to Riches. What's up, dude?
What's up, fellas? You guys hear me all right?
Man? Good to see you.
Good.
Yeah,
you too, man.
Can you comment on that tweet a little bit? I'd like to. I'm putting you on the spot here, but I literally was going to show this tweet before I saw you show up. So.
Big shout out to Mango Junkie. He was hanging out with me last night. Big out, all these crazy people in the chat. So I mean, think about it, right? If you were trying to game HEX in such a way that it's going to be beneficial when the fork happens, wouldn't you want the price to be lower when the fork happens for Pulse to get all those copies, etc.? I mean, in my opinion, it's like I would rather us to sell off now and then have clear air as soon as the news comes out. So that's kind of and we're kind of doing that, man. We're clearing the order book all the way down. And if we go to 10 cents, we go to wherever, I like it. I kind of like it better than the alternative.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same. I did some quick math.
There's the question. I'm sorry for
sure. Go ahead,
why can't we anticipated that before? Like why we got to the bottom of this only for now? like when it happened.
Yeah. So I feel stupid for not thinking about it. I feel like I should have called this. I should have seen this. In my opinion, not only do we have the OA who's looking out for us, a lot of Hex folks are talking to each other. They're friends. A lot of people, a lot big wallets. So isn't this like a pretty smart play, right? Clear everything out. The news hits, and then we don't have a lot of resistance. So it just makes sense. And I wish I'd thought about it earlier.
Yeah, Matt is very.
And
sad.
think about it this way too. Is somebody going to be more apt to end stake when the price is at 50 cents when Pulse launches? Or are they going to be more apt to end stake when price is at 10 cents? No, they're not going to do it at 10 cents. They're going to lose a lot of money. They'd be way more apt to do it at 50. So this looks like a play, man. It looks like a play to me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I didn't think about it specifically, but one of the things that I've been friends that I like know in real life that I have coffee with, we've mentioned this sort of energetically, I'll say Richard Hart, but let's just say Richard Hart and team. I use this sort of metaphor of like holding the fence down so that as many people can jump in as they possibly want. I mean, look at except for ETH gas fees. Look at all the new wallets, the new stakers that we have come in over the past 2 months. We had all these people. A lot of us are having to explain ourselves to new onboards that we have. But holding that fence down so more people can come on. And then once it starts going, I mean, talk about euphoria. What Bobcat was mentioning before. Talk about people just like, and you know what? The louder that you're crying now, the less loud you get to be later. That's not always going to be the case because it's usually going to be people crying louder. But like, and by the way, I don't see that many people crying on Twitter. I see mostly people commenting about other people in their world that are crying. But
it's called emotional swings. It happened with the Ripple back in time. And I knew some people who sold their houses and possessions to buy a Ripple for $3. It happens when when currency, which you don't know much about, it goes like 10, 15x. Well, the Ripple was doing crazy numbers back in time, and crazy corrections, and it calls swings. When you get on the top, then you catch the bottom, and you were just frustrated selling it all the way down, and then it goes up, and it calls emotional swings. And the higher it goes, it's like the engine of the car. The faster you go, the more money you put in it. And I really saw people putting their all of their possessions into Ripple, and then Ripple to 10 cents, and hello.
Yeah,
happens all the time. You want to buy bottom. You need to buy bottom. It's hard. It's like you're right-handed and you need to do something with the left hand for now. It's the number one thing which you need to do when something dips. Yeah.
Bobcat, you shared earlier. Can you just tell everyone what your sort of DCA, maybe you have on your channel, but just for everybody here, what are your DCA price points? And by the way,
yeah,
he's not saying that it's going to do this. It's just math and
no, I'm doing that. I mean, this is my. It was a wrong pitch. This is what I'm doing. I mean, it depends on how you play it out. By the way, I'm going to take profits from HEX as well, but I'm not going to use it in my personal way. This money will be, laying down, untouched until we make another dips. Let me show it to you just to make it clear. Pick any. Do you see my screen again? Right.
I'm going to share it.
Pick any perfect coin which you have in mind. Any. Oh, let's take ADA. I like ADA. Back in time, let's just take a Cardano and let's remove this. And you see, like, your Cardano liker back in time. You decided this is my time. I'm going to join it at 1.3. Number one rule, which you would like to, it's all about self. You need just to come up with a strategy, and you probably remember me telling you like before a stream that you don't want to be over invested with a token. Let's just say for a small backs, this was your number one entry, and you decided to put 1,000 into Cardano, $1,000. So every 50% which currency does, I would say double down. Let's count it together. So for example, you had $1,000 here. It goes down 50%. roughly at 65 cents. So what you do for now, at this point in time, you have $500. So you get the point, right? You get the math. You had 1,000 here, and now you have a 500. So you would like to stick. It's the my strategy. If you just like for consideration, you would like to stick your number, or let's just say your investment, to $1,000. So what you do, you put another 500 here to make it 1,000. You get the point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So imagine it this way, right? It goes again 50% down, and from this point, and for now you have $500 here at 33 cents, and you keep repeating that. You keep doing this $500 every time. So, and another 50% down. And let's just say, I'm sorry, plus minuses, roughly this way, 15 cents. That was your 1, 2, 3, third DCA position in. So for now, let's count how much money you put and how much value you have at this point in time. It's 50 cents. So you put 1,000 here, 500 there, 66. I'm not going to use logarithmic. 500 here and 500 there. So overall, you put $2,500 to have 1,000 overall investment, right? So now, the number one thing which you want to do with this is just to, let's just say, to break even, right? So you need just to make how much money back? 100%. So we had some sort of bounce from here, which actually probably even at the top get to 150. So by that moment of time, you withdrew 150% back, which is $1,500 back to your, let's just say, free cash. And by that moment in time, you have the same 1,000 which you had here before at 1.3. But it's not 1.3 for now. It's at 39 cents. Now, let's get to the interesting story, the most interesting story. Now you do the same stuff. It gets 50% down. Let's just eyeball it at 19. Sorry, just say 19, right? You put another 500. Let's just eyeball it. 1,900, 10 cents. Another 500. 5, another 500. And, all the way down. And even if you do 5, 6 DCAs, and it would be like total of 3,000 or something like this, you would be basically decreasing, or just, let's say decreasing your break-even point lower and lower. So did you get anything that I said about?
Yeah, and so you're saying, like, you believe in the project. This is your strategy for DCAing as it keeps going down.
Let me show you with HEX. It's pretty easy. You can do it pretty much all day long. It's pretty easy if you took profit already. Where's the chart? Oh, here it is. Imagine your your Krypto Panda at the top, right?
I'm professional at this. I definitely
professional top. I just forget it. Alt H, right? This is where Krypto Panda entered HEX with 1,000. So we count 25 roughly. That was your another 50%. Imagine that you invest 1,000. You need to put another 500 to make it 1,000 from here. And one or another way, if you just look at ADA back in time, Ethereum, they had some sort of 100% bounce back. And every time when you kind of double back, you can withdraw this 1,000, which you might earn, to lower your break-even point. It might go all the way down, almost endlessly. So imagine HEX will hit 12 and 5, right? Here, right? You'll put another 1,000 into it, and you'll be having 1,000 here. And imagine that HEX by some moment of time will bounce to 25. Just imagine it this way. Like, bam, this was your take profit point. You have already put $1,000 to DCA yourself in. And at this point in time, when HEX doubled from 0.25 to 25, you earned 1,000 on the top, and this was extra money, and you withdraw it from your value position, right? And for now, you have the same extra money which you put in the 1,000, which you put at 52, but for now it's at 25. And imagine HEX will be doing this all the way long, all the way down. I mean, going down, then doing 100%, going down 100%. If you look at, I don't know, if you look at the same BLX, which is Bitcoin. Imagine you bought 90,000, the same story. Oh dear. Like 90,000, 10,000, the same, like 5,000, you could DCA yourself 3 times, then took profit. Yeah, it might take like a year just to get to the point, but it's all about correction. Bitcoin went into a very hard correction at this point in time. But DCA helps you to lower your break-even point. It's like, you did some videos on what? On staking. Like you have like three times more coins. So I was
just gonna say, that might, for me, the other way to lower your break even.
And imagine it this way: if you load back, like you have $1,000 and you manage to DCA yourself low enough, imagine like HEX will go to 5 cents and you'll be having like $1,000. It'll be having all of this extra cash which you put, and you decide, okay, I'm not gonna withdraw for now at any double, but I'll be waiting until HEX will renew all-time high. At this point in time, you will be waiting until 52 cents will be hit. And for now, you could reproduce this with not 1,000 doubling, but with a 10,000 doubling. So when it went to 52, you will be having 10,000. You will be withdrawing half of it. $5,000, $5,000, $2, $5,000. It dips. You buy in $2,500. It dips more 50%. You buy in. You can do it all the time.
Can you guys see my screen?
No, not yet.
Oh, here, I'll show it up there. Yeah. One second.
Right. You guys see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So to go on to what he's saying, and I've shared this with my group in the past. I just had to dig through the archives. But if you had put in $500 starting on 12/15 of 2017 into Bitcoin, for example, dollar cost average strategy, $500, and then let's say you pulled out on March of 2021, March 15th, $500 a month would have netted you about $140,000. Now, if you look at the average price, actually the USD value of Bitcoin, a lot of points it was going down. It was going down until it didn't go down anymore, and it really, really pumped hard. But your average price going in kept decreasing, just like he's saying. $500 a month, 2.5, 3 years, 140 Gs, just sticking to a plan. It's the power of DCA, really big time.
Thank you for that. That's a perfect way to comment. And also, I said it on another video, but if you look at Nomics, they say that the top was 48.7 cents. If you bought the top, like I did, because that's what I do, and you staked it for Cuatro Cinco, your net effective cost per hex is 6.4 cents. 6.4 cents. So it can just keep doing whatever it's doing. And I know that some people are like, yeah, but but I don't. I'm already staked, and I want to hold this
for 15 years, right?
Yeah, for 15 years. And I did some quick math today, and found out that if you, let's see, this is super quick math, so I don't want it written down, but if you bought the top 48.7 cents, and you staked for hang on, I got it on HEX.
Renop is on your page. You're in the same page. He says, I buy tops too.
Yeah, oh, perfect. And you staked it for 2,555 days, which is like something like, what is that, 6 years, 7 years? Then that still puts you in the black, so to speak. So if you're freaking out about your costs, about the price of HEX, and you're new, and you believe long term in the project, by the way, you're getting the double. You can stake you don't have this opportunity in a lot of other projects and promise coins. Like, they're just sitting around waiting, but you can literally stake your way out of a negative position just by being more patient, plain and simple. That's basically it. You don't have to do that, but I wanted to add that to the whole DCA, way of looking at this.
The problem is, system is great, but human beings are not.
True.
And this is, you can do nothing with them. If you have a speculative way to consider any investment, you'll keep doing that. There's no good HEX or just bad HEX, like people consider. Like they say, oh, HEX is bad. What changed? Nothing. It's the same system. the same staking features, the same game theory, the same elements. Nothing changed. But say, oh, HEX dropped 67%. It's bad. How is it bad?
Humans.
Humans.
Humans make that in the same way that people think that this thing that's beautifully built right now is all of a sudden going to lose value because there's a copy on, on PulseChain. Like HEX on Ethereum will still stay awesome. Doesn't mean that Ethereum is going to,
but fees are not.
Yeah, fees are not, and
yes.
they're taking care of it. But but at the same time, it's the same contract. It doesn't matter what chain it's on. The functions there are still the same. Staking, unstaking fees are different, but again, most of my stakes are past when Ethereum says they're going to have ETH 2.0 come out.
You're gonna like it in the end when you press unstake.
How long do pulse fees stay low? How many years? That's the big question. That I need
it might happen. Yeah, like with Ethereum. Can you imagine if PLS will go up 1000x? What's gonna happen with fees? Is there any mechanism to reduce the fees?
I guess he's saying that the load shared between Ethereum network and Pulse network, but that's a big question for me. Couple years, 3 years, 1000. I don't know.
Well, and it's kind of an apples to oranges comparison because ETH is proof of work still. If you look at Binance Smart Chain, fees are still relatively cheap. Other chains that are out there, I noticed like Polygon at Matic used to seem pretty fast, and then I started looking at like Phantom and Avalanche, and it's like 7 cents lightning speed. So I look at those things. And I think I told you guys both this, but Brandon, I mentioned to you the other day, like, I mean, this 2 month period of time when I've been doing more research on just crypto in general has made me even more excited about PulseChain, because some of these other chains, like they're looking for home run projects, and some of them are getting them to get on board. But PulseChain is going to launch with some great projects already, and there's some other things that are being built, by Hexagon. So. I don't know how long it will take to get congested. I mean, it happens to every chain with usage.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's something I should look into, figure it out. I'm just curious, just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Please, not $5,000 for stake.
No,
I'm not gonna make it. Please. We had enough with Ethereum. We broke up with them.
We put a comment up earlier that said, I think rightfully so, that what we're likely to end up seeing is larger stakes or longer stakes on HEX and these shorter stakes on HEX when it's on the Pulse chain, because it's just cheaper to be able to do so. And I think that's guaranteed out of the gate until we see what actually happens with ETH 2.0. And they say June, but there's too many things that don't want it to be that.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. What do you think about prices? Would there be any differences? I think that there'll be parity between PHEX and EHEX. Well, because people, creating the theories about PHEX will be greater because there'll be more people using PHEX and staking elements, and that's why they will need more PHEX. On the other hand, people say about EHEX because it's the original one and blah, blah, blah. Guys, what is the difference between BTC and Rep BTC? One is based on the Ethereum blockchain, the other is a BTC blockchain. Do they have different prices? No, they have the same one. It's the same asset which has been built on the different blockchains.
But what happened originally when it first launched? Why was it the same price? Was there something that happened behind the scenes to make it the same price? And I'm just asking these questions because I don't know. And that would be the same question I asked for EHEX and PHEX too. Like, was there a reason why they launched? Why Wrapped Bitcoin launched at the same price? Did they make sure of that? In this instance, it's kind of up to the market, it seems like. Well,
anyway, they treat Wrapped BTC and BTC as the same asset. That's why they have the same prices. It's like, you get the point.
How did they guarantee that would happen when it launched? And I don't know if it did happen or not. I just don't know about it.
No, there's no guarantee about it. I'm just,
just in general,
considering as well.
That's a curious thought, because maybe at some point it did. Maybe at the beginning it didn't have that, and then it reached parity. I mean, I see it it fluctuates a tiny bit, but it's always,
Yeah.
it's always at parity. So I think we're gonna. Here's what I love about being a Hexagon. Here's what I love about sacrificing for Pulse. We just get to watch. We just get to watch and see all this stuff happen. I mean, at the end of the day, when I was talking to people about Hex early on, I'm like, why wouldn't you want to be in the most interesting stuff that's going on in crypto right now? And there's other cool stuff that's happening. Don't get me wrong. There's other really, really cool things going on. There's this whole idea of DeFi 2.0, which we won't get into in this stream, and the way that things are being done. But if you are really stoked on the long-term vision for what PulseChain is going to do and for what Hex is going to do, you literally can grab popcorn and just watch and see what the next 3 to 6 to 12 months do. And if you don't make a damn move, if you don't let your mind let your degenerate self get the better of you, you will benefit, period. You just will. That's going to be the case. Now, people always like, oh, set and forget it and, leave and go live your life. Well, crypto has proven to me that you can't really forget about certain things but it doesn't mean you need to be sitting there refreshing Staker app or refreshing your portfolio every 30 seconds. But people are like, what are you going to do when mainnet launches? When mainnet launches, I'm like, nothing. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit and watch and see what happens. Yeah, there you go. Popcorn.
Yeah, it's about you because you kind of realize it. But I have a Telegram group. I have, like 900 people here, and we talk about TA, fundamentals, different stuff. There are guys who sell, Hex is 18 cents, 17 cents. What am I going to do? Are we dead? Other questions and statements. Whatever amount of time you're going to tell them that it's going to be fine. It's a correction. And look at, I don't even go online every day showing, TAs. You can look up into Bitcoin, Ethereum, even ADA and see what they did before and what happened next. They went up. It's a correction. People have been shaking out all the time in the correction phase. Yeah, I mean, there was a problem when we were at 40.50 when people made Hex as a no-brainer, and I hated it. When you do an asset like a no-brainer, like stake, chill, fight 55, everything is going to be fine. You'll be a millionaire. You will actually taunt as many speculators as possible. As many. Like, come on in, guys. Come on in. No brainer at all. So the same story with SHIB, any other, coin which you can imagine for now, like Dogecoin, Moon stuff-ish, whatever it's called for now. It's the same story. It's not righteous to make an asset, that great asset, which, such a great game theory and staking element, just to make it, chill and stake, like do nothing with this. It's going to go up and to the right. No, it has a corrections. And we need just to come through this. And it's going to be fine in the end.
I think the biggest problem that I see in my group is people invest money that they need to live on.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge part of it. And I just encourage people, it doesn't matter how small you can contribute, but just start very, very small and let it build up so you're not pressuring yourself to pull that money out. It's the biggest problem that I see. Everybody's looking for the home run. They're not looking for the singles and the doubles. It's no good.
Yeah.
Dude, that's such a good point. And staking saves you from that. Also, Crypto Heartbeat, the invite link I sent you doesn't work anymore. So sorry, man. Can't come in anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, Finbear, stake and chill. But yeah, Brandon, to your point, it's easy to get caught up with everything going. Like we're told, no matter what you're reading, it's like bull run, take advantage, life-changing wealth, all those different things, and it's easy to forget that delayed gratification. Forget the mantra in Hex. Delayed gratification in all of crypto is what you benefit from. And I was heavily into crypto in 2017, 2018. And then I just I got so wrecked. I didn't even want to talk about it. And when I said I didn't want to talk about it, if someone was like, what do I do? I'm like,
it hurts.
I'm a horrible person to talk to about it. And the best thing was stepping away from like a year and a half and 2 years, truly, I literally was like, it was like almost PTSD from it. I went when it came time to start looking around. I had these wallets with crypto in them that I would have degen my ass away from. Like I literally would have traded my ass away, and instead, like not caring and being like, "Don't even talk to me about crypto." I benefited in a lot of ways.
Dude, bro, I had a 4-year bag of dog coin, man. Crush.
Oh, really?
Crush.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I got so many TikTok followers off that video, man. Good gosh.
You're a lucky one. Yeah, it's great. Hex is tanking for now. No, I wouldn't say tanking, like let's just say below 17 cents.
And people 2 months ago were like, man, I wish I would have got it when it was below 20 cents.
Yeah, everything that goes up pretty high gets back to major supports all the time. People said, no, we will never see Hex going to. Oh, I just remember the story with Hextronaut. There was a story with when I was wrong. There was a very, clear bear pattern which is about to, to be played out on the market, but everybody was up and I was wrong admitting that, and he was like in the Twitter like 7 comments, 7 follows, 7 tweets in a row saying like fundamental analysis is stronger than TA. His point was about God whales buying at 42 and Hex went to 52. This, the end of the story, God whale bought at 47, 45 and dropped to 17. Nothing is absolute and no one's knowledge is absolute. So yeah. Well, I say it all the time.
It's not wise. Like, I'm sorry, but maybe someday with your Hex and PulseChains, you can be a whale in another project. But we can't get into the mindset of what whales are doing and the power that they have to be able to do things. I mean, we can hope that they're friendly and that they're doing things to our benefit. But even Overwatch said if it hits 20, I'm going to end this, and he pumped it up. And it didn't do anything. I mean, it didn't do anything long term. Hey, Randy.
Yeah, Randy Hilarski. Coming from Panama City, Panama.
That's right.
On us.
So it's like trying to get into the mindset of a whale is best saved for those who become whales, because you have no idea what it is that you're able to do.
Yeah. But they are humans. They can either be good humans, bad humans. So,
but you know what? At the end of the day, they are about the same. They're all playing the same video game with the numbers of the screen.
Yeah. Until they experience this drop their way, they'll be saying like, "Are we going up? Are we going back to all-time highs?" There are 2 phases which can be played out. The first one is playing for now. It's a I would say more or less faster declining to new all-time lows, local all-time lows. There's another part which I like. It's called the long sideways. It's where price is stuck in some range. It's going all the way here. Like you can pull up Shiba, and Shiba was going into a very decent range, very precise range for 7 months. It neither went up nor down. It was going like this. But then it just went up doing like 20x, 30x, and then people say, if you bought $1,000 Shiba, you would be happy. You would be having like $9 billion. And I was like, woo, let's get into it. That's how it works usually.
Yeah, and you know what? That dude who did that probably was like, I'm out of here.
It happens all the time. And yeah, you should be ready for a very long sideways formation, and it's got to. This would be just another way to shake you out.
Absolutely.
I heard some theories that it doesn't take much to freak people out in a market, especially if you're not staked. So if you did have a big stack, you could freak people out. You could hit the sell button. You could, maybe you've got $5 million worth. You can sell $1 million. That's going to start to cascade down. You're going to clear everybody out, cycle them down. You buy back, and you're going to make probably 5 or 10 times your money back. That's a technique that's used all over the place. Mm-hmm. And that could be a technique that's used here. But to tell you the truth, have you guys looked or have you guys seen which type of wallets are selling off right now? I don't know if it's big bags or small bags, really.
No, probably small ones.
In the big way, yeah.
Someone earlier in chat said there was I'm not gonna be able to scroll up there. It's too many, but mentioned that they said Hodl Dog maybe did something. Said there was 4. I don't want to put a Hodl Dog on it. Maybe it wasn't him, but there were 4 wallets that were selling off and riding the ETH pump
Yeah, it makes
But
sense.
I mean, you know what it is? It's like it's all just stuff. It's just things, analysis to do of certain things. Everyone wants to know when, and then when they want to know why.
Yeah, jump in. It's
You know,
speculation
when is
at
something
its
going to
best.
happen, and
Yeah.
then why is it not going the way that I planned?
Yeah, sorry guys,
Um,
I really have to go for now.
That's okay.
Yeah,
We're about at the top of the hour. Brandon, if you could stay on just for a minute for us to close. But Crypto
Yeah, man.
Bobcat, it's good having you on, man. I really appreciate it.
Good to meet you, buddy.
yeah,
Check
thank
out
you.
his
Likewise.
follow him on Twitter and subscribe to his channel on YouTube. Always a pleasure, man.
Yeah, thank you very
thanks for
much,
all your
and
TF.
see you around, guys. Bye bye.
See you around.
See you. All right, and hey, Brandon, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
I appreciate having you on. Yeah, Bobcat reached out and he was like, "Hey, let's stream." I figured
I've
why
never
not
met
do it?
Bobcat. He seems like a cool dude, man.
Yeah, he's awesome. And this was the first time I guess he started doing his streams with showing his face. He got a good camera.
Oh, nice.
But for a while it was just him, his voice in the chart. So it's good to have a face with the voice.
Absolutely, man. Let's see here. So yeah, I haven't even, dude. Yesterday I realized that I hadn't even looked at my portfolio in like a week or two, and I was like, man, this is awesome. I don't care.
The best. I've looked at Staker app less in the past 2 months than ever, and dude, it's great. I mean, I still kind of know what the price is doing, mostly because I get messages.
Yeah, me too.
From people about whatever. But like I said, I don't know if you're on, but I intentionally a couple months ago was like, I don't even want. It's not about tempted. I just didn't want to have to think about it. So I just staked all my stuff. I have mostly long stakes, like over 8 years is my average. But
Yeah.
I actually had I took the liquid that I had, and I said, okay, what's well beyond what I think the fork will happen, and I also made it so I wouldn't have any sort of tax, capital gains in this year. I said, look, you don't have to think about taxes, just put it into the next year. And psychologically, it's been the best thing ever because someone
Dude,
asked,
it's awesome.
What's going on with HEX? I'm like,
yeah, like I think that the fact that I guess HEX's main liquidity pool is what, USDC, right? I think I saw some stuff shared between version 2, version 3, version 1. So that's really good when we go into a bearish situation with Bitcoin and Ethereum, because it seems like people harken back to USDC and they kind of use HEX as a hedge against a dropping market. But at the same time, I think that when Bitcoin and Ethereum and some of the major projects are pumping, there's also a lot of flexibility in USDC. I think people get out real quick, sell out to USDC, and then they buy these bigger projects simply because it's stable coins. So, that's why you look at the chart, when Bitcoin is pumping, HEX is either flat or it's dropping. But as soon as Bitcoin slows down, man, HEX hits harder than anybody else in the market. There's always been a lag with altcoins. After Bitcoin launches, it just goes to the moon. Bitcoin slows down or starts to go sideways. Altcoins kind of start inching up, but HEX just pops. So I'm wondering if, over the next, whenever this cycle's over, if it's extended into the first or second quarter of next year, maybe we could be sideways for a while. Maybe there could be a massive accumulation period. I don't think so, just because of the news that's going to be launching with Pulse, but we'll see. We'll see what's going on there.
Yeah, and also to your point, I think there's I don't want to speak for myself. Well, I'll only speak for myself. I don't want to speak for other people. But I think that you want to be cautious about the fact that it seems like you start getting to this point as a Hexkin where you're like, when the bear market happens, you're like, yeah, and bear markets, even though it ends up being this great lifeboat as it's designed to be in terms of bear markets, bull markets get more people excited about crypto, generally speaking. So I think that it's important. Bull markets help everybody. They help the entire space.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And HEX isn't easy to buy. So getting more people on board with whatever token they have, you know, the recent SHIB pump, a lot more people jumped in. And so they're excited about it. And if they're excited about it and they get into crypto, then they're like, okay, what's next? You know, and smart people, even though it's just not the case yet. I don't want to say everyone's stupid in crypto, but more people are starting to realize the benefit of yield, in what it is that you choose, because it doesn't matter what HEX is doing in price right now. We're getting paid every day. We're getting paid every single day.
Correct.
Everything else is just waiting for a tweet, an endorsement, whatever. And that's not
like the Robert Kiyosaki. Did you guys talk about Robert this morning, Kiyosaki?
No. What was that?
Was with the funding gym. Friggin', he flew out to his house and took a picture of Robert Kiyosaki and posted it this morning. And then talking about he's looking forward to getting on the next podcast. And dude, so they like sat down, you know, I know what's his face talked to Robert before. And guys in chat, it's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. It'll change your life if you haven't read the book. So you need to read the book. But that's pretty big, man. That's freaking huge. Like he spent time with this guy at his house and talked to him in depth. So I think that's pretty neat.
I agree. And not only that, there has been a, let's call it a little bit of drama, a little bit of drama around the way that the people are saying, and because I don't, you know, that some OGs and what it is that they're saying and how it is that they're acting. But there are people that have, I don't even like the term OG, but there's people that have been in HEX for a long time that are doing things to help, like Funding Gem, that are doing things to bring this to the next level. That are talking to bigger money about getting this in. And you know what Robert Kiyosaki taught me reading that book? He's all about yield. You're not sitting around waiting for something to appreciate in price. You're buying your real estate and you're renting it out, and you're getting that passive income that's being earned. So Robert Kiyosaki is the perfect person for Funding Gem.
You know what I like about it though, Robert? I can't imagine the pure volume of pitches that he gets on a yearly basis. And Robert was smart enough to be able to say, "Hey, wait, there's something here. Let me look into this." And I think that's pretty cool. That shows how open-minded the guy is. That shows that his books aren't just BS. He's trying to get rich. He seems like he really practices what he preaches, man. And I think it's cool that we have somebody like Funding Jim out there, because Robert Kiyosaki's not going to invite me out to his house, wherever the hell he is, in tropical whatever. He's probably afraid I'll shoot him or something. I look crazy. You get somebody like Funding, Funding Jim. He looks sharp. He plays the part. He can speak intelligently about this stuff, and and it's cool that we have those types of folks representing HEX as well. Very, very, very smart people who are entrenched in finance and understand how this stuff works at a much greater level than a lot of other of us. Yeah,
and also, yeah, I agree with you 100%. Also, people that you may, well, Robert Kiyosaki didn't just hear about HEX one time and was like, "This sounds great."
No,
he's been on streams with I think Dollar Cost mentioned HEX to him on a stream.
Yep,
Funding has been working this for it's that whole idea of, if you look at sales, you don't just tell, if you're in sales, you don't just say, here it is, and they're like, "Oh, great, here's my money." Especially people that have done well financially. There is this massaging that needs to happen.
And the marketing aspect. Yeah. Our community, like, who's to say that Robert Kiyosaki didn't pull up one of your streams 2 or 3 weeks ago because he heard something from one of his buddies, and he's got 7 or 8 different directions that he's hearing about this. And finally he makes the decision. Let's do it. He saw a billboard, whatever the case may be. You don't know.
Yeah.
But it pushed him over the edge enough to talk about it. So I think we're doing our jobs pretty well too. Everybody in the community. It's friggin' awesome.
Absolutely. I'm 100% sure that it was one of my videos that he watched that did that.
Guys, hashtag 100% sure.
There's so many guarantees in crypto, but that's one of them. That is one of them. So, hey, I want to just say, dude, Brandon, I love your tweets. I love your streams. I love your videos. If you're not following this guy, then you just don't love laughing. You don't love laughter.
There's probably not much more opportunity to follow me before the YouTube shuts me down. Before I get canceled, it's going to happen
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah. Or I guess in your community, it's not follow you,
Not
subscribe.
follow me unless you're a flat earther. All flat earthers, please follow me.
All the flat earth, you got a good, there's a good contingent picking up there.
Yeah, contingent flat earthers. That's been my thing. I've been repping that. We had some flat earthers. What's his name? Davis. He infiltrated
Davis
our
offered
stream.
to pay you $500.
Dude, yeah, I got offered to debate somebody for $500. Some David Weiss guy. So we'll see.
I don't even think it was a debate. All you had to do was just
listen.
Just listen. That's
Davis.
easy.
Yeah, listen. That's all I had to do, man.
You don't even have to think.
YouTube flagged my video, my stream this morning with a Wikipedia article about flat earthers and conspiracy theories. So you guys can check that out. Go to you'll see that caveat at the bottom.
You know what it is, David? That's some false flag OPSEC stuff. Davis is trying to get you canceled.
Dude, I'm telling you, man.
It's got to be one of your community. It's got to be one of your community
Somebody.
posts.
He's paying. You know what? Davis is paying me a lot of money to talk about his website. So I think I am being wrecked right now.
We'll keep doing the good work because I appreciate it. I crack up every time I see it.
Yeah. We have a good time.
Awesome. Well, I saw it looked like Crypto Heartbeat looked like he was in the green room, but he jumped off. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. But right. Dude, thanks for jumping on. Everyone in chat, thanks for being here. Really appreciate having you on. Thanks to Crypto Bobcat. Everybody can search for both of you guys. Rex Riches, you can find them. I'll try to update when I upload this, I'll update the description with all of your information. Everyone have a great week. Stake long and just chill. This is programmed to do one thing and one thing only. Richard Hart is watching it. His team's watching it. They know what's going on. So we can whine and we can complain all we want. I don't think anyone in chat here is whining. I saw maybe one person worried, but we just hang out and let Hex do the work.
Mike Matt, good to see you. Mango Junkie, good to see you. Cass McMahon, good to see you. Good to see everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Have good days.